Hey Virgo, welcome to April. So Virgo, you have a trine going on, a positive aspect with the planet Uranus, the oh wow planet, the planet of brilliance and divine insight, and often seen as a lightning bolt of change. Okay, so you have a positive aspect going on. So that can really bring in brilliant ideas for you. Now, you also will have a trine on the 19th of the month when the sun enters the sign of Taurus. And then we know all the personal planets will slowly be making their way into Taurus also. So that's a beautiful thing for you. Now, you do have some squares going on, the more challenging aspects. It's been going on for a while with Jupiter since May of last year. So you have a little bit of a challenge with Jupiter, but I have to say, if you're going to have a square with any planet, Jupiter's probably the best one because it's a planet of luck and blessings, okay? So be open to the possibility of blessings, please. Don't shut that part down. I know you can be very analytical, but let's not forget about our hopes and our dreams because things can show up out of nowhere if you are open to it. Now, you also have a square going on with the planets in Pisces, and we have a few of them there still, partly because Venus and Mercury are both retrograding back into the sign of Pisces. So you have Venus, Mercury, and Saturn still in Pisces, but that won't be for much longer. The personal planets will move out soon, and Saturn will actually make a move, which it doesn't do very often. But it will make a move into the sign of Aries in May. Okay. So not, a little bit of squares. All these like aspects have been going on for a while. I think the newest, freshest one for you is the trine with the sun once it moves into Taurus. So that's a beautiful thing. I think Taurus is such a beautiful earth sign ruled by Venus. It's such a beautiful time of year. And because you're an earth sign, Virgo, you make this positive triangle. So really, that can be a really beneficial time for you. Now, we're going to pull a few cards here for your theme cards for the month, okay? I haven't looked at any of these yet. I'm working with a few different decks. And so we're going to put some theme cards down on the table, and then we're going to work with the wheel here. And this is the astrology, the zodiac wheel. And so it kind of covers all the areas of your life. So we're going to use that and go through each one and see what you need to know this month of April. So the first card that I'm starting out with is the Page of Cups. So this Page of Cups has kind of like a fairy tale vibe to it. He looks like he's an elf, and there's a fish jumping out of his cup, and there's a giant toad behind him. Okay, so I kind of feel like this is giving you vibes of fantasy, or like, I don't know, I think of fairy tales as like calming and kind of escaping into that magicalness, like almost maybe you're reading like a really good book, really good storyline. But, I know that you're the great analyzer, Virgo, so it's kind of asking you to kind of go into those playful realms, okay? Now, your next card here is the Knight of Swords, and this is from the Animal Totem deck. And so I think this is a raven, but he's traditionally the Knight of Swords, a Knight of Air who, wants to move fast and move forward. And so he's standing there on his perch. He's dropped his shield and his sword, and he looks like he's just really proud of himself. All right. And the Knight of Swords would probably love to read also, or to communicate, or to maybe tell stories, or maybe he travels, gathering people's stories and sharing those. Now, the third card that you've got is the Devil card here, and this is from the Herb Crafter's Tarot. So this is blackberry, and it looks like it's blackberry pie. All right, so it's being dished up and served out. And this is a major arcana. Is ruled by the planet Saturn, right? So we know that the Devil card has things about who's in control. We know it has things about shame and blame. I think it's interesting that it's pie. Like we can beat ourselves up for our diet. Let's see what the book says here. It says, sweet berries, sharp brambles, beware. Let Awareness, awaken the power of choice. Break free of the desires that keep you trapped. And basically, I'm just going to give you a short version. We've got an old cast iron pan here, and we've got some pie. And it says, knowing what keeps you bound can set you free. You may be feeling trapped by something you love. It feels good, yet you are depleted. Blackberries are delicious, but the vines strangle everything in their path. Do not become ensnared by the sweet fruit of pleasure while ignoring your true needs. That's pretty cool. So do not be ensnared by the sweet fruit of pleasure while ignoring your true needs. All right. So maybe your true needs, I don't know, the devil card is Saturn. So Saturn can be like constant work and right, like go, go, go and give your all to work and maybe not giving yourself enough playtime here. And that's kind of what I was seeing in the first two cards where Page of Cups is playful, Knight of Swords is full of stories, and the devil card here. And it's almost like maybe you're beating yourself up for wanting quiet time or wanting alone time or wanting just play time. Okay. But it's almost like having that pleasure without the guilt is what I'm getting. All right. I'm going to push these cards towards the back, and then we're going to put a card onto each space and each zodiac house. Okay, Virgo, we got all the cards into place. I haven't looked at any of them yet. They're all face down. I'm working with a few different decks here. We're going to start off in the first house, which is Aries house. And Aries house is associated with the term I am. So as it has a lot to do with your identity or your public image, how you show up in the world. It's actually the house of your childhood. So it's actually when you show up in the world. Now, we're starting off here from the Green Witch Tarot with the Wheel of the Year. And this is traditionally the Wheel of Fortune. We can see that the Wheel of the Year has landed on Yule, which is, the pagan holiday that's Christmas was taken from. And so we see some themes of the past or maybe the future, this coming Christmas. And we see that all things are in motion, right? We call this the Wheel of Fate. Often has themes of surrender. Okay, this is a major arcana, major secret of life card. So there's extra oomph where the majors show up, and the majors shown up in your first house of Aries. Now we move into the second house, which is Taurus's house. It's the house of the body and all the adornments of the body. It's the house of value. And we have from the animal totem deck, the Chariot. And we've got like this killer whale there. So I'm pretty sure that's what that is, killer whale. And so the Chariot is full speed ahead, right? This is a card that's ruled by the moon, related to the sign Cancer. And so, there's many, many versions of the Chariot. This is a really powerful, don't mess with me kind of energy. All right. And so this is in your second house. Some people call that the house of money. But it's anything that's important to you. So we see you moving very much ahead. But remember, the Chariot is fueled on intuition. So making sure you're trusting that. Now we move into the third house, and the third house is Gemini's house, and it has themes of how we communicate and how we learn. It rules our local environment, the people around us, and another major arcana. So you're all major so far. And this is the Awakening card, Tulsi, from the Herb Crafters. And this is traditionally the Judgment card. So, I've talked about this card before in previous readings about how Tulsi is called Holy Basil also, and how it's worshipped in India because it's known to have so many health benefits. Okay, this is a great plant to drink in a tea or to take in a tincture. Again, I'm not an herbalist, but it's a very commonly used herb for revitalizing. And it's also the kind of herb where it's like if you drink it at night, it's not going to keep you up all night, but it's going to recharge you, rebuild you. So you've got Awakening there in your house of your environment, in the house of communication, and your third major arcana showing up. This is Scorpio energy, ruled by the planet Pluto, that wants to bring in change. Now we move into the 4th house, which is Cancer's house, ruled by the moon. This house is associated with like how you nurture yourself. It has themes of your family and the root chakra. And okay, it's not a major arcana, your first one that's not. It's the Page of Swords here. It's the Roadrunner. So maybe you are on the road. Maybe you haven't been in your home as much, or maybe you've just been really busy. The page, works in service for the king or for the court, and running around and running fast. And there's the sword up there on the side, like put aside. So these could be some thoughts that you're just too busy to deal with. But it looks like we've got a lot of activity in the house of your home. Now, we move into the 5th house, which is Leo's house. And this is the house of fun and joy, and it's the heart chakra, and it's associated with romance and creativity, and it also rules children because they have so much joy. And here's the 2 of Cups. So this is a great card to show up in your house of joy, okay? There's 2 of Cups. I think of this as such a happy relationship card, and looks like he brought an extra along for their date there, the little goose. Okay, so we have these 2 cups. They look very reciprocal. They look like they're having fun. They almost look like they're going to start dancing. So lots of joy going on in the 5th house. Now, keep in mind that you also, your house of your environment showed Tulsi. So we're showing that you're probably clearing through some of the people that are in your environment, right? Choosing those that revitalize you. But we do see a lot of joy there in the 5th house. Now we're moving to the 6th house, which is your house, Virgo. And it's the house of the work, like your day job, house of routines and habits and health and contribution to the world. And you're also the great analyzer. So it's a very analytical house ruled by Mercury. And we have the 8 of Pentacles showing up here. Now, this is a card of hard work. Okay, which Virgo, I always love having Virgos work for me. They're usually pretty organized and detail orientated. And so they're having fun making wreaths. It's interesting. This is like kind of referencing Yule again. And that's what we had started off with. So lots of joy here. It looks like maybe you're teaching these kids. So maybe you're getting some joy out of teaching or spending time with children. Now we move into the 7th house, which is Libra's house. And this is the house of relationships and legal matters. And our card there is the Madre of Earth, creosote bush. And this would be the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so let's give a little peek in the book for that one because I'm not familiar with that plant. But it's nice to see a queen show up in the house of relationships. And we saw a very compatible relationship in there. And now we see you in a power position. Creosote bush. Let's see. It says, be a garden of the wild places. Be a guardian of the wild places. Build circles of women. Share the medicine. So a woman travels deep into a canyon surrounded by the shrub plants of the Sonoran Desert. A large dancing rock towers before her, a flat mesa sturdy behind it. Before collecting medicine, she makes an offering to the land. She raises a clay bowl full of creosote flowers to the sun and sings a song of gratitude. The Madre of Earth provides for herself and for her community, and like the creosote bush, she creates many remedies. She honors the land as she gathers medicine. She is in good health and inspires others to the same with her grounded daily rituals. She knows creosote bush thrives in depleted soil where others plants cannot. She too is considered a survivor because of her ability to grow strong. As a true guardian of the place, she learns from creosote, the mother of all plants, how to enhance the lives of generations beyond her lifetime. She steadily supports her people as well as the animals and the plants of the region. Embrace your quiet nature. It is the foundation of grace. How beautiful is that? In your house of relationships, it's almost like you're an earth keeper there, that you're in relationship with the earth, that you're in gratitude and respect. And that's really beautiful. So I see you in a really power position in your relationships, especially when you stay in humility and gratitude. Now we move into the 8th house, Scorpio's house. And let's see what we got going on there. We've got the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is usually the bad boy of the tarot deck. I like that this one's a woman. The sign is pointing towards the village. So it looks like someone's showing up here in your house of sex, taxes, and death. This is a hot and steamy house, Scorpio's house, and it can have themes of other people's money, but it can have deep themes of sexuality. And it looks like someone is showing up, coming into town here, okay? We already saw a lot of good vibes in the 5th house of fun. We saw the house, the 2nd house, we had the Chariot, which is full speed ahead. We saw in your house of relationships, beautiful power of an earth queen. So I'm seeing some really good relationship vibes for you. Now we move into the 9th house, which is Sagittarius's house, the house of the higher mind, of religion or breaking free of religion, the house of teaching, being a student, publishing. It's also the house of travel, especially foreign travel. You got the 5 of Pentacles here. And this is often called the poverty mentality card. Okay, we see a change with the number 5, and Pentacles is anything of value. See that they're selling some animal skins here, but there's some idea about lack. Okay, maybe they're not selling. Maybe it's something has changed in the market. All right, so we see a 5 of Pentacles here. So maybe you haven't been traveling. Maybe you haven't been, maybe you've been in, maybe you haven't had to have, like, maybe you haven't been able to see the big picture like Sagittarius, because this is Sag's house. Usually is very optimistic and upbeat, but here we see that maybe you're having a little struggle there. Maybe you're like really in the moment where things are a little challenging and maybe not seeing that this is just temporary. Also remember that this is Jupiter's house and you have a square going on with Jupiter this month. And it's also, we're still in that Venus retrograde, and we're going to be finishing up that Mercury retrograde. So you may have gotten a really good understanding of your relationship with money. Okay. So 5 of Pentacles there in the 9th house. Now the 10th house is Capricorn's house, and it's the house of your career or your long-term standing in the world. It's like a house of your family and like the grounding energy of your family. It's the house of your reputation. It's associated with fame and awards. And our card of the year shows up in the 10th house for you. And this is the Hermit. And it's a woman version, which I love to see. This is Virgo energy. And this is you. This is you, Virgo, right? Look at the little mice down there. And so the Hermit is your path of truth. The Hermit knows that he needs his own time and space to think his own thoughts and to connect. So in your house of career, you may find, I don't know, I kept getting the vibe like you're on the road or something for work, but there's definitely some alone time that's needed. But with the Hermit there in the 10th house, not only is it a major arcana, but it's the card of the year because 2025 equals 9 and the Hermit is number 9. So I see a lot of power for you in the 10th house, and it's a powerhouse to begin with an extremely powerful card there. Now we're moving into the 11th house, which is Aquarius's house, and this is the house of your hopes and your dreams. It's also the house of friends and large groups of people. And it's like new technology, all that kind of stuff. And you've got the 2 of Cups showing up again. The 2 of Water, this is Mallow. And we see all these little hummingbirds drinking from the bird bath and all these beautiful flowers. Okay, so let's see. That's interesting because the 11th house is across from the 5th house, and the 5th house is where you also have the 2 of Cups. So I don't know. There could be an old friend coming to town. There could be someone showing up. It could even be work related, but there is some true connection going on here. So if you're single, this could be love. If you're not single, this could just be some really great times with someone you really care about. Okay. Emotionally satisfying. Now we move into the 12th house, which is Pisces house. And I always find it difficult to describe Pisces house because it's confusing, because Pisces is confusing. It's ruled by Neptune, and Neptune is known for fog and illusion and delusion. But it's also known for its opposite, which is clarity and great vision. It's called the house of the hidden, or the house of the undoing, like undoing old karma, okay? So sometimes it's a little bit what's not seen. And let's see what we have. This is from the Osho Zen Tarot, and I often use this more as an oracle. And you've got the participation card. Card number 4, participation. Interesting. So, I think of the 12th house as a place where you hide out, where it would almost be like lack of participation because, the 12th house could be like the house of like meditating or stepping away from society. Let's see what the book says here. It says, have you ever seen night going? Very few people even become aware of things which are happening every day. Have you ever seen the evening coming? The midnight and its song, the sunrise and its beauty? We are behaving almost like blind people. In such a beautiful world, we are living in small ponds of our own misery. It is familiar, so even if somebody wants to pull you out, you struggle. You don't want to be pulled out of your misery, of your suffering. Otherwise, there is so much joy all around, and you have to be aware of it and become a participant, not a spectator. Interesting. So it's actually kind of referencing what the 12th house is known for. Sometimes when we just check out or remove ourselves or get lost in the clouds or get lost in sadness or emotions. And it's asking you to step up and participate and be part of it, especially because there's some great opportunities for you out here to meet people, to enjoy. And so you have to show up and you have to participate. Okay, so I'm going to put one card in the middle, and it's going to be a Beltane oracle because we have Beltane this month. And let's see how you're going to feel this month, okay? Let's see what we get here. And, this came up in another pile. This is the Milk and Butter card. And it says, like the silk off one's flesh, I am the giver, I am your eternal. Wow. Like the silk off one's flesh, I am the giver, I am your eternal. Milk and Butter, card number 25. So kind of has smooth, sensual vibes to it. It's very beautiful. And if I could find the Beltane book, I would read it to you. See if it's in the box still. Milk and Butter, card 25, which we would call a 7 in numerology. Let's see what it says. It says, the universe always provides no matter your circumstances, and Milk and Butter is here to remind you to lean on Spirit for all of your needs. Spirit is your eternal provider, your unlimited source of nourishment. All that is required is your belief. An intention given to the universe has no power if you do not believe it will be answered. Milk and Butter brings the message of faith. If you have not seen your dreams coming to fruition, it is because deep down you are not a believer in your magic. Interesting. Interesting to consider. Interesting to consider what you believe, where you're giving your energy. Remember, we started off back there with kind of like almost like a fantasy card there with that Page of Cups. Then we went into the Knight of Swords, and then we had the Devil card. So it's like, what do you believe? Where are you giving your power? Where do you need to take your power back? These are the themes for you this month, Virgo. Let's roll you some dice. Okay, looks like we got the South Node in the sign of Sagittarius in the 4th house. So the South Node is the past. I was thinking an old friend, someone from the past was showing up in the sign of Sagittarius, which is a travel sign, right? And then in the fourth house is the house of the home and nurturing. You may have someone come and stay with you. You may have someone who comes back to town to visit their family. But there's something here for you about someone from the past. Maybe that person usually comes home around Christmas, but they're coming home this time. And so you have a chance to see them. All right, let's throw a few charms for you. And let's see what we got on the table. All right, I see an F, an E, an A, an N. I see the word bean. I see the word fiend, ban, van. I see the word babe, B-A-B-E. And so look and see if you see any initials also. Do I see anything else? Fib, the word 5. And it looks like, let's see what else. What is this a symbol for? This is kind of I think that's a symbol for fire. You also had a little castle here that fell on the Knight of Wands. And I see a feather there over in the participation card. And a little Mary there in the middle, near milk and butter. All right, so let's give you a few power days this month, Virgo. This is based on the dice that we rolled. So you got the South Node. You also got the sign Sagittarius. So let's see. The moon will be in Sagittarius on Tuesday, April 15th from 10:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time through the 16th through the 17th until the 18th at 10:12 a.m. These are power times for you, Virgo. And you also get Cancer, which the moon will move into the sign of Cancer on Thursday the 3rd at 6:50 p.m. It'll be there through Friday the 4th and Saturday the 5th until 12:34 a.m. on Saturday the 6th. These are power times for you, Virgo. Thanks for joining me.